Can I just ask you a little bit about the existing players? So Stuart Downing is getting a lot of positive press at the moment. He's like a different player this year.
He's like a different player, and you'd have to thank Sam for changing the formation, which seems to suit him a lot better than just being a winger. And all his life he's been a winger. Now he's in the diamond. He's a much better player, and his passing is fantastic, and he'll score a few goals. On the wing, he looked a bit isolated. He's done all right, but he didn't look the special player we thought we'd signed, and now he starts to look that special player again.
We signed 9 players over the summer. I know it might sound a bit.
I thought it was 8. I've lost track.
I know you lost count. There's quite a few. Is it a bit premature to start looking ahead to January now? Do you think there's any possibility there'll be further strengthening?
January. I mean, you cannot exceed that wages budget under the Premier League rules. So we're not looking to sign anyone in January. There might be a deal that's so good to refuse, and we can get some money. We could sell some commercial sponsorship, get some extra income in there. But on basically, we're not looking to sign anyone in January. But there's an exception to every rule. But I'm not looking to sign like 5 or 6 loan players like we signed last year. That probably cost the club £5 or £6 million. But we were such a small squad. We were under such pressure. We just had to get some cover in. It kept us up.
I think there's a general agreement that this squad is much, much improved from last season. Can the fans expect similar investment next summer to look as we go into our final season?
We'll always invest where we can, but we have wage restraints. That's all I would say. And I don't want to sort of say to people, we'll spend 100 million next year and we'll do this, because some players won't come to you till you've got a certain status. Then you haven't got the wages to pay them. But we will look to improve the team next summer. But I don't want to give any figures. A lot depends if we can pre-sell, so bring some commercial income in. Because just to reiterate, even if we want to put the money in, we can't put it in because you're restrained by your wages budget unless you have new commercial income, and that's the rules of the Premier League.
Okay. Where do you think, given the good start, West Ham can finish this season?
I've said right at the start of the season, we can finish 6th.
You think it's realistic, yeah?
I think it's possible. I mean, we could be on 18 points now. It's not a dream. You just needed a bit of luck in 3 games that we didn't get what we deserved. All those 3 games, we didn't get what we deserved out of them. I don't think we've had a single game this season where you can say we got more than we deserved out of a game. But we've had 3 games where you could say, well, it wouldn't have needed much to get something out of those 3 games. And this includes a win at Hull, by the way, that we drew. Man United we lost, Tottenham we lost. Very unlucky defeats. So if you've got points out of those, you're moving towards sixth place. So I don't say we will finish 6th, but we should look to finish 6th. I mean, Arsenal and Liverpool at this moment in time are lower than us in the table. If they don't finish in the top 6, they will be horrified. And we've had quite a tough start to the season. We after the next 9 games, there's only one really, really hard game, which is Man City. So it's not impossible to say we'll finish 6th. Not impossible to say we finish 4th. I also realise things can go terribly wrong because that's football. But I think there are grounds for optimism. And it's not some stupid rhetoric based on nothing. It's based on what we've achieved so far, the fixtures that are coming up. And if we play all those like cup finals, play the West Ham way, score the goals, we can be in the top 6, we can be in the top 4. Whether we will, it's a bit of a tall order, but not impossible, So I think you've got to aim high and see where you finish.
And finally, January will mark 5 years since you've been at the club. Are you pleased with where West Ham United are?
No, not really. We never anticipated getting relegated. That really put us back a year or 2. Really hurt us financially, really hurt us from a squad point of view. We had let players go. If we finish in the top 6 this year, I would say, yeah, fine, terrific. But up to now, we haven't done enough. Maybe we're starting to get it right now. Maybe we got a bit more involved in the philosophy of buying players this summer. Maybe it'll achieve a little bit more, But we've gone for the young player, the attacking player, and that's a change of philosophy. So we've just been involved a little bit more. and at the moment it's worked. Whether it works long term, who knows? Because you need a bit of luck. And I'm not arrogant enough to say I'm any better than anyone else at picking players. You with me?
Can the Olympic Stadium fast track West Ham's success a little bit?
I hope so. I hope so. And it will give us a little bit more money for players. And I think you have to dream. And I just don't subscribe to the fact you say, oh, we've had a successful season, we finished 17th. That isn't good enough for West Ham supporters, And I said it last year, that was not a good season. It might be a bottom end, it's not a disaster, but it's not a good season. And we hope we get some good seasons with cup finals. I'd love to be back in Europe, even with the extra games, because I think the excitement of the old days, it would give back to the supporters. And I think we may just be making some progress towards that. That's all I can say, because it's early days yet. Football's a strange game. But I'm optimistic. I know the supporters are optimistic. I know the way the team is playing is fantastic. And I think with a small bit of luck, we could have a fantastic season.